Welcome to Cooking and Storing with Ann and Wayne. Today we're going to be making this little bunny cake. It's super simple to make. You just need to do 2 cuts in a layer of cake and put him together and put some icing on him and put your decorations on him and he's done. I'm not a cake decorator. He is not perfect, but children don't care. For our cake, I used a very simple pre-mixed cake mix from Duncan Hines and just followed the directions on the box. For the icing, it was a 3-ingredient icing with 8 ounces of cream cheese, 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar, and 12 ounces of whipped topping. And that was it. You just beat it all together and it's done. So let's get started with our super easy little bunny cake. To get started making your bunny cake, you're going to want 2 8-inch cake layers. And I used just a box cake mix for this. If you're into baking and you want to make your cake from scratch, feel free. But a box mix works well for this. So this piece will be our head of our bunny. And this piece will be our ears and our bow tie. So I crudely sketched out a couple of bunny ears, and we can use those for our pattern for our ears. And once we get our ears cut out, what's left will be our bow tie. It's that simple. It's 2 cuts. So we're going to take our knife and just kind of follow outside of our little pattern. And the good thing about this is if you make a mistake in your cutting, we're going to make a lot of icing. And icing will cover up a lot of mistakes. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. And just that simply, we have our ears and our bow tie. So we're going to move our ears and our bow tie to this pan. Then we'll make our icing, and then we'll decorate our bunny. Okay, so now we're going to move our bunny ears and his bow tie to our other pan. And you just place the ears however you want them. You can angle them any way you want. And you know, as I said, if things are not perfect, we'll cover it with icing. And the truth of the matter is, this is a cake for kids, and they don't care. So there we go. We're ready to make our icing and do our decorating. So now we're going to make a really simple icing for our bunny cake. You can use a prepared canned icing for this and it works just fine. But we're going to use 1 block, 8 ounces of cream cheese. We're going to use 12 ounces of Cool Whip that's been thawed. Each of our containers has 8 ounces in it. I couldn't find a 12-ounce container, so we're going to use 1 whole and 1/2 container of Cool Whip, or generic whip topping works fine too. So we'll use about half of this one. And this is not a super sweet icing, and I like that about it. Then we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. And we're just going to take our mixer and blend this up. And just that quickly, we've got our icing done. And I'm not sure if I said this, but if I didn't, you want to let your cream cheese come to room temperature before you put it in your bowl. And you can see it's nice and fluffy. Makes a real pretty icing for your cake. So now we're going to put our icing on, and then we'll move on to decorating our bunny cake. Now we're ready to put our icing on our cake, and we want to put it on the top and the sides. And you just cover your seams with your icing. That way, if you don't like how your seams look, they'll be covered up. So now we've got our icing on our cake. He's got a lot of texture because of the fluffy icing. If you want a smoother texture, just use a canned icing. So now we're going to put a couple of drops of red food coloring in our coconut flakes and try to make some pink coconut for our bunny ears. This is just some coconut that I put some green food coloring in to make a little grass. I think I'm going to sprinkle that around our bunny on the pan just to spiff him up a little bit. Now we're going to start with just a couple of drops. As you know, the more you put, the more intense the color is going to be, but we're not going for a red here. We want a pink if we can get it. We're just going to keep working it. And if it's too dark, we can always add a little more coconut to it and work that in. But I think this might end up being okay. And when you get ready to decorate your bunny, you can let your creative juices flow and do him any way you want to. I'm going to use some of this just to put on his ears to make the inside of his little ears look pink. And then we'll use some jelly beans and gel icing to make his face and decorate his bow tie. But I've set out some other examples here of things that you could possibly use. And if you're going to let a child help you with the decorating, the gaudier the better for them. They love gaudy. So whatever you have in your cabinet, I would just sit it down and let them decorate it. Okay, guys, we're ready to start decorating our bunny cake. And let me just say, I am not a cake decorator, and I'm not as creative as I wish that I were. But just have fun with it, and if the kids are doing it, it'll be even more fun. So I'm going to take a little of our pink coconut and put down the center of his ear to make it look like a little pink on the inside. And again, you can do whatever you want with your bunny. And if you look online, this recipe has been around for years, and there's lots of pictures of things people have done with theirs. And doing this coconut reminds me of a funny story. I did this cake once when my kids were little, and I covered the whole cake in coconut, just plain white coconut. When I got it before I put the decorations on. And when the kids saw it at Easter, they thought it was great. It was, you know, a novelty, and they enjoyed looking at it. But they wouldn't eat it because they didn't like the texture of the coconut. So, I'm not going to put coconut all over this one. I think for his little bow tie, I'm just going to take some jelly beans and make a circle. To make the knot in his bow tie. So we'll do something like that. And again, you can do this any way you want. And then I think I'll have to take some of these little sprinkles and put in the center, just to make his little tie festive. Then we're going to take some of our gel icing. Make him a little pink nose. Something like that. And we'll take some of our black gel icing. Do him a little mouth of sorts. And like I said, I am not a cake decorator. And let's see, let's give him some whiskers. So let's go up with a one and down with one, and then just a couple. Like that. And is he perfect? No. And does it matter? No. I almost gave him a mustache, but he doesn't care. Alright, let's see what we can do for some eyes up here. Let's do a couple of little circles. And just put a jelly bean in each one. And then you can get as fancy as you want. You can give him eyelashes or whatever. But you get the idea. It's just a very simple design. Very simple cake to make. You've got your 3 cuts. And then you just put on any kind of icing you want. And then you just decorate him the way you want. And it's a kid's cake, and they're not going to care whether it's perfect or not. They're going to love it. So thank you for joining us today while we made our bunny cake. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and we'll continue to visit our channel. So today we'd like to wish you happy Easter, good food, safe storing, and happiness.